This year, Malaysia announced that it will open the largest integrated circuit design park in Southeast Asia. Located in the state of Selangor, this project is significant as Malaysia aims to position itself as a top global manufacturer in the semiconductor industry.
In fact, Malaysia is trailblazing and setting the benchmark globally for semiconductor investments. Several international firms have already committed to major investments in the country, including Intel, which has announced a $7 billion investment in a new chip packaging plant. German firm Infineon is expanding its facilities with a 5 billion euros commitment, and other global players like Nvidia, Texas Instruments, and Bosch are also scaling up operations in Malaysia. The goal? Cement its status as a key player in the global semiconductor supply chain, create 60,000 skilled jobs, increase wages, and build a more advanced, resilient ecosystem for future growth. For this, Malaysia has launched an ambitious three-phase National Semiconductor Strategy, backed by $5.3 billion in incentives, which aims to attract $107 billion in investments.
Malaysia is just one of several examples where industrial policy is making a comeback. From the United States to the European Union to even here in Southeast Asia, industrial policy is increasingly being mentioned as a strategy to realize economic development. So what's the significance of this and why does it matter? Let's dive deeper by exploring what is industrial policy and why is this the latest obsession among policymakers. Industrial policy is the usage of government action to support specific companies and industries for strategic purposes. These reasons can range from protecting national security interests or creating new industries for national development. Over the years, countries like the United States have used subsidies, tax credits, R&D expenditure, and tariffs to realize these goals. However, critics argue that these policies can distort the normal functioning of the market, and when done poorly, they can lead to major losses for the government, as in the past, many of these initiatives failed to accomplish their objectives. Thus, by the 1980s, industrial policy largely fell out of favor. But with the rise of China, COVID-19 pandemic, and the increased attention being placed on climate change, several countries began to re-examine the role of industrial policy. For example, in 2022, the United States enacted the CHIPS Act, whose goal is to encourage supply chain resilience and counter China's success in the semiconductor industry. While for newly industrialized nations like Malaysia, industrial policy is being relied on to promote economic upgrading in key sectors like the semiconductor industry, which was previously mentioned. Going forward, Malaysia needs to ensure that its industrial growth benefits a wider cross-section of society instead of specific regions. This can be done through the promotion of both forward and backward economic linkages. In other words, the government needs to ensure that other sectors of the economy are integrated into these new industries. Secondly, the country also needs to ensure that it balances international politics. The increasing tension between the United States and China has presented opportunities for Malaysia to attract firms looking to exit the Chinese market. However, Malaysia needs to ensure that in attracting Chinese investment, it does not provoke the ire of the United States, which is a major market for its electronics exports. Malaysia has several unique advantages in this race to promote knowledge-intensive industries, but it still has somewhere to go in order to realize its economic aspirations. So tell us, what are your thoughts on using industrial policy to promote growth? Share your thoughts in the comments below.